This is in response to, uh, strangely named, considering the source, Extremely Insecure, Wise Flow Philosia. God, that's such a stupid thing to call it, considering. At any rate, in this, you attempt to say, pretty much one of your main points being, expose the truth and he will hide. Talking about not really facing the realities of information being presented against a person or a person's opinion, and then just never addressing it, running from it, and maybe trying to cover it up, that that even exists. Now, if anyone here is guilty of such a thing, I would direct them to your channel. Since you most definitely are. I've on numerous occasions called into question your misrepresentation of facts, homophobia, your sexism, your blatant racism, and just generally not being anywhere near knowledgeable about the subjects you claim to be so enlightened about, and instead of responding, you go and you hide, and you make these more videos just like pretending no one said anything to you. You don't address anything. And if you do talk to someone, it's over one of these Skype conversations with one of your like-minded students, or possibly Tota Ryan. And I have a feeling that you're not really into those conversations with him anymore, because while he does like you, he does not support all of your decisions. He does not agree with you, probably like he used to. You're getting some resistance there, even though you all are still tight. And you're basically running from that. And as far as being insecure, you're probably the most insecure person, one of the most insecure people I think I've seen on YouTube. You have to be constantly showing off your body with what you think is an awesome body, with your flexing videos, with your wise flow poetry, with your philosia videos, putting yourself out there to such an extent that everyone that sees it would immediately think, oh, this person has a giant ego. But in all actuality, this readily points to a person seeking approval, not perpetuating superiority, or at least attempting to do so. What you're doing is you're trying to rake in positive feedback to feed yourself, because as of right now, you are a person that needs other people's approval. You will go off and you say you won't need that approval. You don't need other people to like what you're doing. Yet, when people like me start to influence those around you, even to such degree that they would be considering the fact that you might not be the wisest person, the person they should take all their advice from, the person they should look up to the most, that you might not know what you're talking about in many, or at least some instances. When you see those pillars of praise on a constant influx start to fall down a little bit, you flip fucking shit and you start making videos that are all over the place. Videos ranging from statements that are more along the lines of, oh, I need this, I need to talk shit, and, you know, obviously I'm going to get shit talked back to me, because that's the name of the game. Then you'll say another video like, I don't know why these motherfuckers are talking shit, they can't handle it. That's what, which is it? You're insecure. And then you go off and you talk about more homophobic shit like gay sex and smelly anuses and, you know, rubbing up on dudes, and it just goes to show again that you're nowhere near mature enough to actually not only be a role model in general for anybody, but to really understand combat applications or grappling or effective martial arts training, I'm going to give you a little hint. You're more readily going to be able to find a knife than a pair of nunchucks. And more likely than not, either by, just how everything happens in a fight, either you're knocked down or you get taken down, but you're going to be on the ground at one point or another. That's where a lot of people think they can do the most damage, and for the most part, that's pretty much true. Whether it's slamming your head against the concrete, a la drunken brawl style, or if it's with, they think they'll have the advantage with like wrestling style grounding pound or jiu-jitsu move. That's where the people are going to really aim to take this thing if they want a violent style victory. And you're not ready, because you're insecure. And that's why you keep talking shit about BJJ, because you're extremely insecure and you're pissed off that you don't have a real answer. So you are extremely insecure and you're making what you attempt to be a clever, funny little insult, but all you're doing is letting us get a look deep inside at that person that needs our approval in order to validate himself when he looks into the mirror. And your muscles can get big as shit, but you're always going to feel so small when statements like these are made against you, and for whatever reason, you feel like you can't change people's minds. So you're going to say things like, you're enlightened and we're not. And yet, it's funny. I don't think an enlightened person would go around calling themselves enlightened on such a regular and frequent basis in order to prove a point. I think he'd just be able to readily do that. A person with the mind of Socrates, the talent of Tupac, and the skill of Bruce Lee would not need to claim his own enlightened status on such a frequent and regular basis. You once again prove yourself to be a small, uneducated, misguided, insecure little fraud with a terrible, terrible, immature, and extremely insecure wise philosia. Feel free to address me anytime. I'm not going anywhere. You might be.